This week on Here for the Right Reasons, it's the Clare and Dale show as the guys and Dale realize that he is the frontrunner.
How long do you really think it's going to take Clare to figure out that you're here trying to campaign for president and actually have no interest in her?
Now Clare is heading home and Tayshia is making a splash. We finally get our first look at our new Bachelorette. Plus, former Bachelorette JoJo Fletcher teased what she saw go down in Palm Springs when she stepped in to host for Chris Harrison.
But what that shakeup is and how it plays out and what actually goes down, I think people will be very excited to watch and see.
We've got that plus so much more on today's Here for the Right Reasons. Hey guys, Christina Garibaldi here with Us Weekly senior writer Sarah Heron. Hi Sarah, how are you?
Christina, I don't know how I am after watching this episode of The Bachelorette, but how are you?
I don't know either. I'm uncomfortable. I feel awkward. I don't know. There's so much to get to. It's really, I mean, like we said at the top, it's the Clare and Dale show. All these guys are starting to realize it, that they're like, what is the point of me being here? And so is Clare.
I know, they're turning on Dale and they're kind of turning on Clare. I don't even know where to start, but I guess with Dale.
Dale. Okay, let's get right to it in our bracket of roses. And yeah, let's talk about Dale. I mean, she says that he is the front runner. He is now saying that he is the front runner. This is something that we've never seen before in The Bachelorette.
No, I think they usually just feel like they have to pretend. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of torn because, you know, we always call them out for being not genuine when they're pretending they like the other guys, when it's clear, you know, you think of a JoJo Fletcher and Jordan, you think of an Andy and Josh Murray, these people who clearly like kind of knew from the beginning, but they explored, which is the point of the show. Right. So we got mad at that too, but now we're mad because she likes the guy. So I don't know what the answer is.
I don't know what the answer is either, but I just feel, I wish we knew what the time frame was because I feel like this is all happening in like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
So I think it's really, really soon. So you want to almost because she left after what, 12 days? We know that. So it's got to be within that time span. So you almost want her to kind of trust the process a little bit. Because some of these other guys, they seem like good guys, and I still can't get a good read on Dale. I don't know. I don't know if he really, really is into her, if he's just so excited that he's the front runner and is kind of going with it and is on this high. I don't know.
I don't either. I mean, I think we need to talk about that moment when they like ran away for the hour in her hotel villa situation. Yeah. Because they clearly have a strong attraction to each other, which is important. They couldn't, you know, keep their hands off each other. We've seen that on the show before. But I can't decide how I feel about him either, because in that moment when Easy came in and kind of interrupted them and was like, what the hell? Like, this is a group date, ? I felt like he was like, oh, I'm going to get flack for this. And she was like, what do you mean? And he was like, wait, like, so he kind of knows how the show works, but she's changing the rules. So it's very confusing for him too, I think.
I think so too. Yeah, he doesn't really know how to act. And I think when he went back in to interrupt one of the other guys, I mean, that was totally a producer move. And they were like, you have to go back in. But you're right. I don't think he knows how to act in this situation because obviously he wants to explore the connection that they have and get as much time as possible, but also doesn't want to break bro code, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, his speech about how we should all, you know, be here for Clare and respect each other and have a group hug. I just don't know why he bothered with that because he knows that he doesn't need to do that. Yeah. It's bad because you don't want to say like, don't be nice to people, but like he should probably distance himself and like lay low when he's with the guys because he's clearly has the advantage. Like, why is he trying to also be like the guy's guy? Like, you can't be the guy's guy and be Claire's quote-unquote fiance on week 2. Like, it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that. And it was so, that whole speech when he was like, well, I'm best suited for her was like, oh no. And he's not like, you can tell that like he's nervous because he's tripping over his words a lot and he doesn't really know the right way to come out and say it. But I guess he is kind of stating the obvious that everybody knows that he is the front runner and he basically said that.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a good actor, so at least we know that. So I don't think he's lying about his feelings for Clare because he's not really selling it. Like, and even in that moment when he interrupted them, like looking for the bathroom, like, Dale, come on, dude. Come on. That was pretty weak.
But what was also so crazy, I don't know if you picked up on it as well, when Clare was talking to the producer and she referred to him as her fiance.
Oh, I rewound. I picked up on it. Are you kidding me?
what? Because if you missed it, she was talking to all the guys about how they were roasting Dale during the roast and had all these like bad jokes about him. And she got so upset and she was like, how dare they talk about my fiance like that? Like, girl, you're not engaged yet.
I know. I don't know if it's doing her any favor showing us these moments with the producers. I find it fascinating. And I think it's, giving us a side of like, they were shocked too. And this is unprecedented territory and like, what the hell is going on? But if for Clare fans or to try to like be rooting for Clare, it just kind of makes her look a little crazy is a bad word, but like it's all I really know what to how to say. Like it's what was happening, and it's like they're not editing this. I don't think unless they're showing us moments out of order. Then I get all in my head, and I'm like, are they making us not like Clare? Because I thought they were trying to make us like Clare, but now it's like I'm just confused.
I'm so confused. And then to add another layer onto this, I know that you wrote about this week, is that Clare was liking tweets about producers kind of pushing her out a little bit and talking to her before that. So this adds a whole other thing to this.
It really does. So originally we heard that Clare kind of quit and it was under her decision to walk away from the show because her and Dale were so in love and she couldn't fake it anymore. Now we're watching it and we realize she never really tried to fake it.
Yeah, no.
And she is liking tweets, though, that are going along with the narrative that she was pushed out and that they're giving her this bad edit and they're making it something it wasn't. And she was willing to do it. Mm-hmm. So we'll find out when she has a conversation with Chris Harrison, but maybe it was more so like, listen, girl, like we love you and we're happy you found love, but no one wants to watch this. Like this is not going to be good TV. So maybe she feels that was pushed out. I think it was ABC being like, we have to make 10 episodes of the show and you're barely giving us 4 or 5.
Well, when she cancels a group date, she doesn't give a rose out at a group date. Like that's like all red flags to producers. Like you said, how are we going to fill 12 weeks of the show? Nobody's going to want to watch just Clare falling in love with Dale. It's not Bachelor in Paradise. You want to see her date everybody.
Exactly. So I listened to Robert Mills, who's an ABC exec, on Nick Viall's podcast that came out after this episode, and he revealed a few things that were important. One, the moment she gave herself the group date rose, he said was the moment that they knew they had to do something. They were like, this has gone too far. And also he said that he said it was ironic because in the past, Clare, on a Bachelor in Paradise, on a Bachelor Winter Games, she didn't really shine. But this would have been an example that her and Dale were on Paradise, they would have just been like Jade and Tanner. You would have checked in with them once a week. They would have been cute. Everyone would have been rooting for them. But because she's the Bachelorette, it just doesn't work. And I was like, that's such an interesting point because she did kind of have a weird edit on those other seasons. But now with Dale, like I want to be rooting for them, but I just have a hard time being like, this isn't the show.
Right. This is not what we signed up for,
Exactly. It's not fair to the guys. It's not fair to Clare. It's really not fair to the audience.
No, it's not, which is why they brought Tayshia in. We finally got our first look at it.
Yes. Before we close the chapter on Dale, I did need to let you know, I did count how many times they said it. It was 130. So that's what I did last night.
I hope nobody was playing a drinking game to however many times they said Dale's name because you're not waking up this morning.
Yeah, no, ABC is liable to like get a lawsuit from someone who like tried to play that game even though they're not recommending it, but it's just like the big joke. Like it was insane. And that counted, the coming up ons and not just Clare saying it, but still I heard Dale 130 times. That's too many.
That is,
okay?
Yes, that is 129 too many.
So with Tayshia, I think it's just she's a breath of fresh. So I think it could have been anyone coming out of that water, which that slow-mo shot was kind of a lot for me. What did you think of that?
I kind of like wasn't very comfortable with it. It was weird. It was like, am I watching like a James Bond movie? Like, I don't really get it.
Yes, it was very Denise Richards, Bond girl. And I think Tayshia's beautiful. And obviously her like bikini body's insane and like she's going to be great. But I think maybe they should have just had her getting out of the limo.
I was just going to say, like, why not just put her in a beautiful, fabulous dress and just have her get out of the limo? Like, doesn't really seem like the pool shot was necessary. Because like you said before, it's not Paradise.
It's not, and it kind of gave us that vibe again. But I think, and I also love she posted after it blew up. She posted on Instagram, "You rang," like she's leaning into it. I would love to know the relationship between Clare and Tayshia because Clare has previously told Jimmy Kimmel that she's never met Tayshia, and I don't know if she was just playing coy or if she's like mad at her for like stealing her show. Like I don't know.
There's like so many different moving parts to this thing, and hopefully we finally get some answers next week. We do know that there were new guys brought in, so who knows if maybe they give the guys the option to stay, and if they want to, and then or if they want to leave, who knows? This is just, it's crazy.
I have no idea. I mean, as I was thinking and I was those guys, part of me was like, oh my God, just leave. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, why would you want to be a part of this Dale show? But at the same time, it's like they're going home to quarantine and or a trip to Palm Springs. So I don't blame them. But if it was a normal season, I feel like I'd be like, I'm not getting on the plane to Iowa or wherever you want me to go. Like, I'm out.
I'm out. Yeah. So we'll see. Like we said, we finally saw Tayshia, and we'll kind of see how this all unfolds next week, because it looks like Clare's chapter is going to close and Tayshia's is going to open. But let's continue talking about this, because we have to move on to our cringe moments of the week. And just like last week, there were a lot, but I feel like this was the most awkward, almost unwatchable one-on-one date of all time between Clare and Zach. Take a look.
But if you want to go get ready, and then I'm going to get ready, and we'll have dinner.
No.
Cool. What? Oh.
No, why did you stop? What are you doing?
I can't watch it again. It's
I can't either. And when I watched it the first time, I thought maybe I missed something because I wasn't paying close enough attention.
I had to rewind it as well, because I thought something happened.
Right. I knew it was an awkward moment. It's always awkward when they go in for the kiss and it doesn't really reciprocate. And I think in that moment, she was feeling rejected and uncomfortable because he didn't know what was going on. And then the grab was too much, I think. It was weird, and I don't blame her for feeling uncomfortable. And I'm glad they kind of removed her from the situation.
Right. Yeah.
Because if they had to have that dinner date, I don't think it would have gone very well anyway.
So either.
For either of them. For Zach J, watching this back must have been bizarre for him, and he hasn't really said much about it, so I can't. And Clare, we know we know Clare more as the audience. We know she's been in tough situations and abusive relationships, and being triggered by that on your own TV show, I mean, that's not cool. So I'm glad they removed her from it, but as a viewer, I just it was hard to follow.
It was very hard to follow, because she goes in for the kiss, and he doesn't, I think, she wanted him to kind of go the rest of the way, and he didn't. And then he tried very hard to kind of save the situation, and obviously he didn't do it in the best way possible. It was very uncomfortable to watch. You can just tell that he was kind of dying inside when he saw Chris Harrison come out instead of Clare. But I don't blame her for not going to the dinner. If she knew, she knew as soon as she walked away from that pool that this was not going to go any further. So, I mean, she should have probably just told him, pack your bags now.
Yeah, I think I don't even know if she knew what just happened. Yeah. I would be interested to know how she felt watching that back too. If she, if she thought his intentions were if he had bad intentions, or if it was just a misunderstanding. I don't even know, but either way, I'm glad it's over. And I don't think we're gonna see Zach J anytime soon.
I don't think so either. I think that we're gonna wash our hands of that one.
Someone who we might see, I can't decide, but he's pretty hated right now, would be Yosef, who was still talking about strip dodgeball. What did you think of this?
I mean, let it go. This is just so strange that he was just going on and on and on about this, and calling her a classless woman, that he would never want her to be the mother of his children, going back to Juan Pablo. I mean, come on, this guy.
I would never want my children having a father like you. Get out of here.
Claire,
listen.
Hey. Are you serious? Bro, hey, believe that you're not fit to be a mother to my child.
First of all, Claire bringing out the Juan Pablo quote was a lot, but it kind of worked. And I almost feel like this was her moment, her best moment in the episode. It was her shining moment. I was rooting for that girl. I was Yosef we could all agree, was not great and not treating her well, and he was being disrespectful, and he was calling her names, and it was uncalled for. I don't even think he was mad about strip dodgeball. I think he just wanted to have something to be mad about. Yeah. And I'm so over people coming on the show and then complaining about wasting their time. It's you chose to be here, whether you have a daughter or not. This is a choice.
This is the choice. You made the choice. And I think we brought it up last week that he posts photos of himself shirtless on Instagram all the time. So,
Yeah. And not even that far back. I barely had to scroll. So that's when he's just a lazy villain, but he wanted to be the villain. He went in with that. I think he realized he didn't like Claire, and he was I want to make a splash. I want to make this worth it. And this was his choice, but it was a bad hill to die on. The strip dodgeball was it was cringy and it was uncomfortable, and there's been backlash of people saying it was inappropriate. I'm always going to point out that there's been plenty of other dates that have been like this, and Claire tweeted back at someone that said, Juan Pablo didn't make you strip, and she literally found a picture of Juan Pablo, Lucy, and Andy Dorfman from their season topless posing for charity. So like, they've been doing this forever. Is it right? No, but it's also not like a reason to freak out at the lead who doesn't control the dates.
Right, yeah, it is not her idea at all. She doesn't sit down with producers and be like, you know what, I think strip dodgeball is the way to go. But who knows? All right, well, we kind of talked about it a little bit before, but another cringeworthy moment is when Claire did not give out a rose on the group date, instead gave it to herself. I feel like this has never happened before either, especially on a group date. Like, just give it to someone.
I mean, listen, the only person who got a rose on this like whole date was technically Dale, because he got the first group date rose, obviously, and then she didn't give one to Zach J, and she didn't give one on the group date. So, and there was no rose ceremony. So the only person who got a rose in this whole episode was Dale. It was very symbolic of this journey.
It really, really was. But yeah, so it was a little awkward because the guys were like, I would have felt better if somebody got something. But
I know. I mean, part of me feels like, all right, I guess in Claire's defense, she's doing what she wants to do. She's finding love. She's not leading anyone on. It's just not how the show works, which is why it's so painful and hard to watch. But technically, she's not doing anything wrong. She's just not playing the game. But what did you think was more, I almost thought like the cringiest moment of the episode was when they kept showing her ask them about Dale. Because, I mean, we know let's be honest, those roasts probably went on forever, and they only aired the Dale jokes. There was jokes about other people.
I was actually thinking about her during that, and I was wondering if she was like getting kind of pissed at the edit that she was getting during that time, because it just showed that like, oh, she's obsessed with this guy and only cares about him, which I don't think that was the majority of the conversations that she had. It might have just come up every now and then, but yeah, that was a weird edit for them to do. I wonder if she is getting kind of pissed off about it.
It kind of gave me Sheena Shea, Vanderpump Rules crazy. Like,
it really did. It really, really did.
It was really bad. And I also think that, you know, usually in the past when the contestants go to the lead to talk about other contestants, the lead gets mad and they're like, we're supposed to talk about our relationship. And this was flipped. The guys were like, we're supposed to talk about our relationship, not you and Dale. So in the guys, I mean, they handled themselves pretty well in a really awkward situation.
They really did, because a lot of them were like, well, I don't really want to give Dale any more airtime. This is supposed to be about us. And she's like, so let's talk about Dale.
Yeah, and I really had a turning moment. I've been so hard on Bennett, and I was like, you go Bennett, you roast Dale. I'm all in on him now.
The jokes were rough to deal with, but they did do a good job. All right, well, like we've been talking about for weeks and weeks and weeks, this dramatic shakeup that finally they confirmed the worst kept secret of all time, that Tayshia is in Palm Springs. But you talked to JoJo, and it seems like things are going to even take a bigger turn, right?
Yeah, she teased, you know, she could only tell me so much because we talked and this promo hadn't aired yet, but she gave me a little scoop on more shakeups and drama we're going to see. And I don't even know, but take a look. I know we're going to see you soon, maybe pop up in Palm Springs. What is it like when you got that call to step in for Chris Harrison? Were you nervous? Were you excited? What were you thinking?
Both, because, you know, normally when I get these calls, it's to come in as a guest and do something fun, like on a date. And so it was never to the level of like, you need to help Chris out specifically. He has to leave. You have to sort of take over this role. So I was obviously super excited that they would even think of me to do that or trust me to do that. But definitely nervous. I mean, because Chris makes it look incredibly easy because he's really good at his job, you know? And so I feel like I did my best. I tried to stay within the lines of like being, you know, doing Chris Harrison's job and his role, but I'm never going to be Chris Harrison, so hope everyone keeps that in mind when they're watching.
But what if Chris Harrison ever does retire? I don't think it'll ever happen, but if he ever did, would you want to throw your hat in the ring to be the permanent leader of the group?
You know what? If they ever asked me to do that, I would feel incredibly honored, and I would feel relieved knowing that they didn't think I totally sucked when I did it the first time. So I would gladly throw my hat into the ring. And I would just do my very best to not let Chris down and not let his legacy die.
His legacy died. You've teased that you were pretty mind blown and it was kind of like a different scene. I know you can't confirm anything, but what can you tell me about what you saw and what we can expect?
I know. I want to give you guys something good. I will tell you this. When I got the call, I didn't know what was going on. I had no clue. I was seeing the same rumors you guys were seeing. When I got there, I got the rundown and it was nothing like I was seeing. There was a lot of other things happening, a lot of rumors that were not true. but it's unlike any other season for a number of reasons. Obviously, the circumstances. Obviously, there's a shakeup possibly happening. Was that teased yet?
We saw someone come out of a limo. We're
Okay. But
this is the hardest part, the teases?
This is the hardest part. I feel like I'm going to get a call after this and be like, what did you say? But what that shakeup is and how it plays out and what actually goes down, I think people will be very excited to watch and see.
I am excited for her to fill in for Chris Harrison.
You know, I think it's so interesting because she's one of the names we keep throwing around is like JoJo knew it was Jordan so early, but she, you know, played the game. And I think it should be interesting to see her take over and maybe even weigh in on that. I know Claire was in Palm Springs for a little while after with Dale, I think. So maybe she talks to her a little bit and tries to be like, are you sure? Like, I think she's going to be a good person to have in the mix.
No, totally. And we've talked to so many people from Bachelor Nation. We showed it on the first episode of, you know, what they think about her falling in love after 12 days. A lot of them were a little skeptical that this could actually happen, but who knows? Stranger things have happened.
Including smelling Dale's pants.
Oh my God. I forgot about that. I meant to put that, smelling Dale's pants. Like, what goes on?
I have no idea. And it was one thing for Claire to smell Dale's pants, but it was another thing for her to enlist Deanna Pappas, who was the season 4 Bachelorette, who came in, I guess, give advice. I'm not really sure.
I'm not really sure why she was there.
She had her smell Dale's pants too.
It was so weird. It was so bizarre. They had like a little bow on it too. Like,
what the heck?
So strange. Well, now that we're talking about Deanna, we wanted to catch everybody up on what she's been doing. So in our Where Are They Now segment, she, like you said, that she was the season 4 Bachelorette. She competed on a couple seasons, and now we get to kind of catch up with her and see what she's up to.
Yeah, people thought it was kind of a random choice to have Deanna. She was a Bachelorette a long time ago, like she said. But I think because Claire was kind of an old school pick, it makes sense to have her connect with someone. And I also think she has kind of she has a Bachelor Nation love story, even though it's not a typical one, because her husband's twin brother was on Jillian Harris's season of The Bachelorette. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a weird Bachelor web. Yeah, she got engaged on her season in 2008. To Jesse, and they broke up a few months after their engagement, and then a couple years later she started dating her husband Steven. So now that they are married, happily married.
Yes, they have 2 kids, and she hasn't aged, by the way. She, like, her skin is insane. And yeah, she's just like kind of a pure Bachelorette who she was scorned by Brad Womack. She was one of the ones where he didn't pick anyone. So America kind of fell for her. Another thing I learned in that Robert Mills interview was that was the year, apparently they had met with Chrishell from Selling Sunset, and she was almost a Bachelorette before she was even she was just a soap star.
Wow.
Because they weren't doing like regular Bachelorette seasons yet. So they were like exploring opportunities for who it could be, but then Brad's season aired and Deanna was kind of the one who got, heartbroken by Brad. So they were like, all right, we got to give it to her. But it was almost Chrishell before she even met Justin Hartley.
Wow. How life would be so different for her now.
And all of us.
Yes, seriously. And all of us. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for breaking down all things Bachelor with me. There was a lot to get to this week.
Next week we have a special episode airing on a Thursday night.
Yes. So everybody make sure to tune in next Friday for our recap, because obviously they're not going to air a new episode of The Bachelorette on election night.
Yeah, I don't know what's, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a heavy week for all of us, but I'm hopefully Tayshia can bring us some love and light. It'll be fun.
I hope so. We need it. Well, Sarah, thank you again so much. And make sure to check out Here for the Right Reasons every Wednesday on Us Weekly's YouTube channel. Keep commenting, keep subscribing. And remember, next week we will be on Friday. So we'll see you guys then.